The restaurant lights glowed like captured stars, shimmering softly against polished silverware and wreaths dressed in ribbons of gold. Outside, snow drifted lazily across the windows, but inside, warmth mingled with the low hum of Christmas chatter. Yet at the center table near the garland-lined walls sat Harper Collins, hands clasped tightly in her lap, trying not to show the tremor of nerves running through her. She had promised herself she wouldn't cry tonight, not again. Not after everything she'd survived this year. But as the minutes ticked by and the empty chair across from her remained painfully, humiliatingly vacant, she felt her chest close around the familiar weight of disappointment. It was Christmas Eve, and even here, surrounded by joy, she felt unbearably alone. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways life can turn around, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps this channel and keeps stories like this alive. Harper had agreed to this blind date only because her coworker insisted the man was kind, grounded, and genuinely looking for something real. After losing her mother in the spring and going through a breakup shortly after, Harper had crumbled quietly behind closed doors, keeping her pain tucked beneath layers of polite smiles and quiet resilience. Tonight wasn't about romance, not really. It was about proving she could try again. That she still had the courage to show up. But as she watched the condensation slip down her untouched water glass, she felt foolish, as though the universe was whispering once more that she wasn't meant to be chosen. She straightened her off-white sweater, trying to shake the feeling, when she suddenly felt a faint tug on her sleeve. Before she could turn, a tiny figure climbed confidently into the chair beside her, a small girl with chestnut curls bouncing lightly behind her, dressed in a rose-colored dress with a white collar. Her round eyes sparkled with both innocence and concern, as though she had wandered straight out of a Christmas dream and into Harper's unraveling night. The little girl studied Harper's face for only a heartbeat before lifting a napkin with the gentleness of an angel brushing away tears. Her touch was so small, so sincere, that Harper froze, unable to breathe. She hadn't even realized a tear had escaped her. The child's expression softened with the intuitive empathy only young children seem to possess. For the first time that evening, Harper didn't feel like she was drowning. She looked around, expecting frantic parents, but no one hurried over. The restaurant buzzed with festive chaos, but no eyes were on them. The little girl simply remained seated beside her, swinging her legs calmly as if she belonged exactly there. Harper felt her heart begin to warm against her will. Something about the child's presence eased the ache inside her. She reminded Harper of herself at that age, hopeful, brave, unafraid to reach for others. She wondered when adulthood had scraped those things away. As moments passed, Harper sensed herself loosen internally, her shoulders unclenching from a year of grief. The girl rummaged through a tiny purse she carried and proudly placed a crumpled candy cane on Harper's menu. Harper couldn't help but smile, an expression that felt foreign on her face in recent months. Somewhere behind them, a voice called out, not sharply, but with exhausted worry. Harper turned and spotted a man weaving through tables, apology written across his face. He looked to be in his mid-30s, with kind eyes and the sort of face that seemed quietly weathered by both hardship and hope. When he reached the table, he exhaled as though he'd been searching frantically. He gently scooped the girl into his arms, murmuring something Harper couldn't hear, but before he could turn away, the child simply pointed toward Harper's cheek, proudly demonstrating how she had fixed something important. The father's expression softened with gratitude. He mouthed an apology, but Harper shook her head, assuring him it was okay. In fact, it was more than okay, something inside her felt profoundly shifted. She didn't understand why yet, but that child's tiny act of kindness had been a lifeline thrown at the exact moment she needed it most. The man hesitated, glancing at the still empty seat across from her. He seemed to notice the unclaimed menu, the untouched glass, the way she sat perfectly poised yet undeniably alone. Harper braced herself for pity, but none came. Instead, he gave her a small, understanding nod, the kind shared by two people who unexpectedly recognize something familiar in each other's loneliness. He carried his daughter back to their table across the room, but the child continued to watch Harper with hopeful eyes, as though silently cheering her on. Harper felt an unexpected swell of emotion, something warm, alive, and almost electric begin to flicker inside her as if the universe had just shifted the tiniest fraction of an inch in her favor. Minutes passed. Her blind date never came. But Harper's disappointment was different now, softer, less devastating. As she rose to leave, the waitress slipped her the bill for the untouched drinks. Before Harper could reach for her wallet, a voice from behind offered to take care of it. She turned to see the same man, the father, standing with a tentative smile. He explained that he felt responsible since his daughter had essentially joined her table without permission. Harper insisted it wasn't necessary, but he continued smiling gently in that patient, steadfast way. She felt warmth rise in her cheeks. He introduced himself as Aaron, and gestured to the little girl, Mia, who waved enthusiastically from across the room. Harper learned that Aaron was a single father, balancing life in a way that often left him feeling like he was falling short. He admitted he had seen Harper sitting alone earlier and recognized that same heaviness in her expression, the look of someone who'd fought battles quietly. He hadn't approached, not wanting to intrude. But Mia, with her boundless intuition, had gone straight to Harper without hesitation. It was strange, Harper thought, how sometimes children see the cracks adults try so hard to hide. The conversation that followed felt effortless, two strangers finding common ground in shared loss, shared hope, shared determination to rebuild themselves piece by fragile piece. As they talked, the restaurant lights dimmed into golden halos, soft music drifting across the room like a comforting whisper. Harper found herself laughing in a way she hadn't in months, light, breathless, unforced. Aaron mentioned that he and Mia had planned to walk to the city square afterward to see the Christmas tree lighting. There was a pause, an unspoken, hopeful invitation lingering between them. He didn't pressure her. He didn't perform or charm or try to impress. He simply offered company, gentle, genuine company, on a night she had come expecting rejection. Harper surprised herself by saying yes. As they stepped into the snowy street, Mia nestled her small hand in Harper's without hesitation. The cold air wrapped around them, but Harper felt warmer than she had all season. The walk was slow, peaceful, each step drawing her out of the cavern she had tucked herself into since spring. She listened to Aaron describe small joys and small struggles, and she realized she had forgotten how grounding simple honesty could be. When they reached the Christmas tree, its lights burst to life in a dazzling show of color and warmth. Mia squealed and tugged Harper forward, insisting she stand close to the glow. Harper watched the reflections dance in the child's eyes and felt tears rise again, not from sadness this time, but from something that felt like healing. In the middle of the crowd, Aaron glanced at her softly, a question lingering in his gaze, not romantic, not rushed, but simply, "Are you okay?" For the first time in a long time, Harper felt like she could answer honestly. She whispered that she was getting there, slowly, but finally getting there. And Aaron nodded, understanding more in that single moment than anyone else had in months. Mia leaned her head against Harper's arm, humming a quiet Christmas tune, unaware of the miracle she had created simply by climbing into the wrong chair. If this story is touching your heart even a little, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a bit of hope tonight. As the tree lights shimmered above them, Harper realized something powerful. Sometimes life doesn't give us the people we expect. Sometimes it gives us the people we need, wrapped in unlikely timing and unexpected circumstances. Her blind date hadn't shown up. But a little girl had. And that small act of innocent compassion had changed everything. Before the night ended, Harper felt something she hadn't felt in nearly a year, a gentle, growing belief that her story wasn't finished. That maybe her heart wasn't broken, only waiting for the right kind of light to guide it forward again. Special request: comment below with "Hope finds us when we least expect it" if you want more heartwarming stories. And as the snow fell softly on the square, Harper realized the truth she would remember for years: she had come to the restaurant expecting a date. Instead,